What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And look, you guys are always saying that I'm talking negative. Mr. Negativity, once again, what you got to say negative now? Well, here's something that's positive. My man Link coming out with his own movie at long last. The Legend of Zelda movie reportedly greenlit after the Super Mario Brothers movie's success. Yeah, it seems like I've been waiting like my entire life for a Legend of Zelda movie. It's one of my favorite games ever. When I was a young buck growing up, had the original gold cartridge, you know, for the Nintendo Entertainment System way back in the day. Ever since it came out, I think I got it that Christmas or whatever when I was a kid. And yeah, absolutely love the game. And yeah, it's kind of early to discuss it, but it's obvious that right now, if they were ever going to do a Legend of Zelda movie, now is the time. Strike while the iron is hot. As they say, Super Mario Brothers was a success. The Legend of Zelda, a video game franchise, is reportedly making its way to the big screen following the success of the Super Mario Brothers movie. Absolutely. And the one thing I can say about this film, the best part is that Nintendo, I'm not worried about Nintendo screwing this up with all kinds of woke crap and race swaps and all that kind of BS, because they understand that's pure brand poison. You are just completely just poisoning your brand when you do that kind of stuff. It's a lesson that Disney clearly hasn't learned yet. But all right, hold up. Let me remain positive. Let's go ahead and read about this adaptation. Reports have emerged suggesting that Universal and Illumination are currently engaged in negotiations to bring The Legend of Zelda to the big screen. Building on the massive success of the Super Mario Brothers movie, the studios are actively collaborating with Nintendo to kickstart the development of a feature film centered around the video game franchise. These rumors gained traction after being discussed on a recent episode of The Hot Mic with Jeff Sneider and John ROCHA. It is believed that if the deal goes through, this project will mark a major milestone for Illumination, positioning it as a significant player in the realm of video game adaptations. Yeah, Illumination is just building. It's just building its brand right now, and it is looking really, really good. After Mario makes 1.3 billion, you have to know that Illumination is hot ticket right now. And yeah, Nintendo knows what they have. Illumination knows what they have. I guarantee you that you're going to hear the deal is solidified soon. Released on April 5, 2023, the Super Mario Brothers movie captivated audiences around the globe, proving it to be a monumental success for the world of animated films. It swiftly garnered acclaim, becoming one of the highest grossing movies of all time, with the revenue exceeding $1.3 billion and growing. I want to say it's like still growing. Let me check this out. Yeah, you can see the Super Mario Brothers movie right now worldwide sitting at $1.3 billion. That's amazing. And actually, when you scroll down here and you look at what it did this past weekend, listen, this is another like $2 million over the weekend. And so Illumination and Nintendo absolutely are looking at numbers like this and how this thing is performed. And they realize, listen, we got something right now. Okay. We got something in here. And even if we can only capture a portion of what Mario has done with Zelda, we got another $1 billion franchise on our hands. Let's get it, baby. Setting box office records, the film shattered the previous records for the biggest worldwide opening weekend for an animated feature and solidified its place as the most profitable video game adaptation in history. Building upon the monumental triumph of the Super Mario Brothers movie, Nintendo is rumored to be actively developing a sequel and exploring possibilities of spin-offs centered around Luigi and Donkey Kong. They absolutely need to do that. There's no question at all about that. People are in love with this series right now, and anything that they spit out of this thing, I don't care what movie it is, it's probably going to do amazing numbers. The remarkable achievements of the film have also sparked interest in further expanding the cinematic universe of Nintendo's iconic properties. With a strategic eye on future ventures, it is highly anticipated that other revered Nintendo franchises will follow suit, with The Legend of Zelda being a prime candidate for the movie treatment. Yeah, I've already discussed what I think a Nintendo cinematic universe could look like. I'll go ahead and link that video above if you didn't catch that. But yeah, I think right now, they've been reluctant about live action adaptations. It's really obvious at this point that Nintendo's going to definitely jump into the film game. The market is wide open. Disney is dropping the ball left and right. They aren't getting their shit together. And so I think it's smart for Nintendo just to say, hey, you know what? Let's throw our hat in the ring. We have a ton of properties that haven't ever been adapted. And I think absolutely fans, audiences, the world over know about our properties. They know who we are. And so they will absolutely enjoy everything that we have to do. Let's go ahead and jump into the film business as well. And you can see they're also jumping into the theme park business. I mean, they're going to explode anytime now. It's just a matter of time. But ultimately, let me say this. It's pretty early right now, and it's kind of bare bones. We don't have a lot of information about it, okay? And I think, you know, we're not going to see this anytime soon. I think probably 2026 at the very earliest is when we can expect to see like some sort of a Zelda movie. But there are three items that I think ultimately will shape the film and that they need to keep an eye on. Let me take a look at this. Look at this. Three things they got to get right with The Legend of Zelda. No question at all about it. The first thing I think is obvious is it going to be live action or is it going to be animated? And a lot of you guys are like, well, duh, it's Illumination. Of course it's animated. And yeah, okay, strong likelihood of yes. But if there was ever a game that Nintendo could lend itself to live action, it's Zelda. It's 100% Zelda. A lot of people would say, Mario, yeah, animated. I get that. All right, leave that in the animated world. Zelda, you're going to have a lot of folks that would probably prefer the live action Zelda over an animated Zelda. I'm probably one of those people, but I'm realistic. And because Illumination has done such an amazing job with Mario, the chances are that this is going to be an animated film. I think the question is, would Illumination try to dip their toe in the live action? And I mean, they've made the Despicable Me and the Minions, and now they've done this thing with Mario. It's definitely a conversation you could have, but I don't think Illumination would be a part of that conversation. Universal Studios might say, hey, we'll do the live action version of this. But you got to think about it. There's a bigger risk, of course, because the budgets are different. Huger budget with the live action versus the animated. So there's a lot more. And then, of course, that's a risk from a monetary standpoint. There's a lot more you could do with animation that you could do with live action and real people and real, you know, CGI and everything has to come into effect. So it'll be much more expensive. I don't think there's a chance that they'll do this live action. But again, it's a question. It's a question that I had. And I think a lot of people would absolutely cling to a live action Zelda. And you'd probably get a bigger audience if you think about it. Because some folks are just like, animation. I'm not really feeling this animation stuff. But live action, okay, you know, maybe I'll think about that. So that's just one point. The second question, which I think is probably a very important question that they have to figure out right away, is do you write a brand new story for this film or do you adapt an existing game or existing story? I'm of the opinion that you write a new story and then you make a game that goes with that story. That's what my opinion is. So people that have never played the game before will just be able to watch the movie, play the new game, and it's all part of the same experience. They're not having to go back and do homework. Oh man, what games do I have to play to understand what this new series or this Nintendo movie is all about? Mario is very, very simple stuff. Legend of Zelda is a whole different ball of wax. So you can just introduce everybody right off the bat. Here's Link. Here's Ganondorf, here's Zelda, here's the whole Kingdom of Hyrule. And you don't have to sit up there and, you know, try to explain everything to everybody. They all get onboarded into the Zelda universe with all the characters, and they can just start getting familiar with everybody. The only risk that I can see with that is that Zelda has a lot in it. I mean, Zelda is very, very dense. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of different stories. And you risk alienating people by writing something that doesn't quite hit their Zelda love. You know, it's like, oh man, I really love the stuff that was going on in Skyward Sword. Hey, y'all should do Skyward Sword. And then some people say, well, you know, Ocarina of Time. You got to do Ocarina of Time. And if you don't do Ocarina of Time, I'm just going to be pissed. There are going to be those people. But I think the best way to do it is just say, you know what? We're just giving everybody the same brand new experience. The existing Zelda fans, just like playing new Zelda games, they'll just, you know, readily move right into it. And then everybody else will probably just say, you know what? I've never seen or heard anything about Zelda. So let's check it out. Sounds like it's a lot of fun. My kids love it. Other people love it. It's a big franchise. Let's see what it's all about. And you get introduced to it just like everybody else all at the same time. I think that's the way to go. And then that way you don't have these arguments. Well, they should have adapted Link to the Past, or they should have adapted, you know, The Wind Waker or whatever. You know, they should have adapted Majora's Mask or Breath of the Wild. You don't have all of those arguments. And then if you don't do those adaptations pristine perfectly, those people are going to get mad. You know what I mean? So brand new story. You don't have anything to worry about. And then the video game will add some layers to the film that people didn't see. And that's the stuff that most people want. It's like, hey, I saw this film. It was great. It was 2 hours, but I want more. And then you can dig into it deeper with the video game. So I think that that's the best way to go about it when it comes to Zelda. Now, my third point, does Link talk or not? I don't know if everybody knows this, but Link doesn't talk in these video games. He don't say a bloody word. And it's a trip because Screen Rant actually addressed this. The Legend of Zelda movie has the opposite problem to Super Mario Brothers' Chris Pratt backlash. It says The Legend of Zelda just giving Link a voice at all could be controversial. While Mario is known in the Super Mario Brothers video games for his Italian accent, The Legend of Zelda's hero is known never to talk at all. Link yells, grunts, and gasps from game to game, but has no actual dialogue. This is even continued into The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which were the first games to feature voice actors rather than just only text dialogues. Characters like Princess Zelda were given a voice, but Link remained silent. Yeah, so this is a big question. You know, do you have Link say anything at all? Because obviously it's a pretty interesting movie if your main character never speaks whatsoever. But that doesn't mean they couldn't do it. They could absolutely do it. It would be hard. It would be weird, but I think they could pull it off. I'm thinking they're going to kind of split the baby down the middle. They're probably going to make him a man of few words, kind of like John Wick style. You know what I mean? They may even use a narrator to kind of, you know, give him a voice that way. But either way, in my opinion, a Legend of Zelda film is exciting stuff for those of us who have wanted one for decades. I'm one of those people. I'm absolutely looking forward. I'm down with whatever they do. Whatever they do, I'm down for it. They can make it animated. They can make it live action. They can adapt an existing story. They can tell a brand new story. They can have Link jabber all day long. They can have him completely silent. I want this film, and I hope they get it going pretty soon, all right? And again, I know they're not going to drop the ball. That's the main thing. Make it engaging. Make it interesting. You're not going to get every Zelda fan on board, but you probably will get most of them. Anyway, folks, what do y'all think about a Legend of Zelda movie and how they can put this thing together? You guys go ahead, jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.